Listening skills. Long, long ago, Hastinapur was ruled by King Dhritarashtra. The country was very prosperous and progressive. The princes Kauravas and Pandavas were very young. They were taught by a learned sage, Dronacharya. He was a very experienced and skilled teacher. In the olden days, the children were taught in open and not in the classroom. The teachers were not only skilled but were masters of the knowledge. They taught their pupils with love and care. They showered knowledge on all their students without being partial. Dronacharya was an ideal guru. One day the teacher was taking a morality class. He was teaching his students about the basic virtues of life, which, when we accept as principles, lead us through a path towards success and fame. He said, "It is very simple lesson. Speak the truth. Let not anger behold you." The very next day, Dronacharya asked the princes, "What was the lesson I taught you yesterday?" Everybody except Yudhishthir recited the same lesson. "Speak the truth. Let not anger behold you." Only Yudhishthir stood in silence. Dronacharya stood staring at Yudhishthir and warned him to be careful in the near future about his lessons. The next day, when it was Yudhishthir's turn again, he stood in silence. He bowed his head and stared at his toes. Now this was too much for Dronacharya. He chided the little boy and sent a word to his grandfather, Bhishma. The Pandavas were cherished by Bhishma because they were fatherless. When Bhishma came to know about the incident, he was very much disturbed. He knew that the boy was very intelligent and was better than the rest in almost all the activities. He decided to visit Dronacharya's hermitage. He lovingly put the boy on his lap and asked him, "Did you learn the lesson your guru taught you?" Yudhishthir replied, "No, sir, but all the younger brothers and cousins have learnt the lesson by heart." "Then what is wrong with you?" asked Bhim. At this, Yudhishthir replied, "Grandpa, I have learned the lesson, but it is not by heart. I can recite the lesson as well as others do, but I have not completely assimilated it. So I am telling the truth when I say I have not really learnt it." When our pious teacher scolded me on not learning the lesson, anger entered me. Besides, he had taught us that we must never become slaves of anger. I shall only learn perfectly when I shun anger. Bhishma was very much impressed by his words. "My dear, you shall surely learn by practice," he said, and kissed him on his forehead. When Dronacharya came to know about all this, he was filled with joy. He had always wished for a pupil who had not only learnt his lesson but also made it a practice to absorb it in his life. He caressed Yudhishthir and bestowed love and blessings on the prince. Not many people really practice what they tell others to do. The same was the case with Dronacharya. Though he repeated the same lesson every day in the class but never paid attention whether the children followed his lesson. It happens with many of us. Nowadays, it is a fashion to smoke and chew tobacco. People make themselves addicted to this. They tell others not to smoke and chew tobacco. But does that person ever think what when he practices the same? How can he stop others from doing the same? We must practice what we preach, but we should never force anybody to do the same. Our practice shall make us perfect. We shall excel. Yudhishthir is still remembered for his truthfulness, honesty, brotherhood, justice, peace, and non-violence. He was not born with all these qualities. Most of them he mastered through rigorous practice. Now the students will write the following questions.